Thank you. The next question, we'll start with Andrew, and this will have a 60-second answer. It's broken into two parts for incumbents versus the challengers. Incumbents, in your time on the council, what do you count as your top 3 unique initiatives? By unique, I do not mean balancing the budget, for example, but something that happened because you were on the council. If you had never been born, this wouldn't have happened to the benefit or detriment of the city of Elgin. For the challengers, imagine it's 4 years from now, and how would you answer that question? What unique initiatives would you have brought forward and gotten implemented into ordinance in the city of Elgin? So Andrew, take it away, 60 seconds.
All right, unique initiatives. Well, the first one would definitely be reducing the bureaucracy. All the time at city council meetings, I'm hearing, oh, to convince this company to come to town, we waived these dozen fees. We waived this requirement, we waived that requirement. Why are we doing that for select businesses? If we say flat out to every business and to every resident, hey, we don't have these fees, we don't have these penalties, you don't have to come here and fill out 1,000 pages of paperwork, we're going to make it easy for you always, then they're going to come here. Residents will come here and fill our foreclosed homes, businesses will come here and fill our empty businesses, and they'll all help support it so that all of us have to pay less and get a higher quality service. I would also want to go through and continue supporting our police department and supporting getting our volunteers in town, in our city, to participate in a higher level. We have a great volunteer group here, but the city doesn't recognize that often enough or utilize them often enough.
Well, a few things. Generally speaking, cost reductions. I would like to obviously look into, been clear about that, to find ways to reduce costs without breaking the spirit of our city. So non-essential spending, and basically find some reductions there that can help our overall budget and cost process. One thing, and I know it somewhat exists right now, is a fast track program or maybe modifications of it for a permitting process for builders and developers. And I'm not talking about the responsible bidder program, I'm talking about simply developers, builders that are trusted and fast tracking them, because time is money with these folks, and working on that economic development side of things, and fast tracking that I think would be a good thing as well. And another thing that I'd like to be known for is making some progress on tackling this pension mess that's mostly Springfield's fault, but has fallen into our lap.
Well, Chuck, I'll do you one better. I'll give you 4. The first one I would say is fireworks. Was one of those things where I was involved with and really felt the community wanted fireworks back in Elgin. We did no longer want them to fireworks, and that was a feedback that I had received from a majority of folks that I had talked with. And I was able to help push that through for Elgin. The next piece was something that actually happened 2 years ago when I was out campaigning door to door. And I was knocking on a door, a lady's door, in an odd, even parking district. And she said to me, talked about a story about her son, about how coming home late and how she had gotten a number of parking tickets and how it had pretty much wiped out all of his part-time earnings. And so I was able to help enable a warning system where you do get 2 warnings for if you do park in the wrong side of the street and not even parking. The last piece I would say is just in the CDBG funding. So getting us to allow us to use CDBG funds for public projects here in Elgin. The first project that we'll be doing is a park renovation with some of those funds, and that's taking federal dollars and be able to insert them into the local economy. The last piece is just support for the trash tax fee halting. We were able to keep that flat for this year, and with Terry Gavin and John Criggy, week over week being able to push for expenditures, we were able to get that. Sorry about that. Should we go on 3?
I would say no to property taxes. I would hope that we have a council in the future that realizes that there are some properties that are near 13% right now in the city of Elgin property tax percentages. Businesses, I talk to a lot of business owners in a lot of different cities. They say, where's your base of operation? And I explain to them I have a building in Elgin, and they cringe. I think that a lot of the business owners knows there's a lot of red tape outside of Elgin. I don't think a lot of people in Elgin realize that, but there is. We have this problem with image when it comes to businesses coming in. And I also would like to have the code department much more friendlier with the people. I want the selective enforcement to end because I feel that there's a lot of that going on in the city. City Hall needs to have better communication with the people. For example, like the bike paths. Walnut Street businesses were asked, Bell Street businesses weren't.
Thank you. I addressed most of this on my card in back. The first thing is I was instrumental in leading the effort to bring the fireworks back to Elgin. I worked directly with our Riverboat Casino representatives to craft an event that day that was a great partnership between the casino and the city of Elgin that everyone here could be proud of. Secondly, I brought forward the very ordinance that Mo Iqbal mentioned earlier that requires a minimum percentage of city residents on city construction projects. That was something I initiated a few years ago. And lastly, I initiated removing the business license fee for businesses that were already paying a business license. And that ended up saving businesses over $100,000 when we did that. And then obviously we ended up removing the business license fee for everyone just recently. But the first phase of that is something that I brought forward that saved our businesses over $100,000 a year.
Well, there are three things that I would take great pride if I could accomplish being a member of City Council and working with everyone. First, I'd like to implement a permanent proactive street repair program. The Elgin website states that the average life of a city street is 12 years. There are some that have not been touched for a generation, near 30 years in some cases. You can save a lot of money by being proactive. We have not been, and that should change. Also, I would have preferred to, and I will still push for hiring an economic or business director rather than a communications director. I think the need is greater there. Outsourcing things to the Chamber of Commerce has been mediocre success at best. I think that Elgin has fallen way behind on attracting new sales tax revenue businesses, and we need to change that. And also, I would think that we could save a lot of money by going to a leaf collection, bag your own program citywide. Thank you.
Elgin has a perfect location for success. If you look at the tollway and the state route, we are perfectly located, but if you look at the demographics, the number of poor in Elgin are twice as compared to the other communities. So we have some blighted areas. We need to revitalize it, to improve the village, the image of Elgin. That's number one I would like to concentrate on. Right now, there's one area, which is the TIF area number 1, has a more than 40% poverty rate, people below poverty rate. And census 2020 is coming, and we need to start now, so when the census is taken, we should show that we have improved that area. That would be my number 1 goal. Number 2, quality of life. I will try to maintain the quality of life as is.
And save it for your closing comments.
Well, I'll break it into 2 parts. In general, I want to lower the tax burden on the citizen of Elgin, and I want positive movement in reducing the unfunded pension liability that can eat us alive if we do not get the returns that we anticipate. In specific, I'll tell you 3 initiatives. The first is business streamlining. I would like an average of 90 days to open a business in Elgin. We have to be open to business. We have to make that easy to do. So that's one of the specifics. The other would be ordinance review. I would like to see as many ordinances coming off the books and less going on the books. I would like to see sunset clauses and review those wherever they touch the public. Are they relevant anymore? Do they need to be repealed? And the last one would be transparency increasing. Elgin does a pretty good job of that, but I would like to see information organized on the website that is very user-friendly. That you know what your tax burden is, instead of just going into the document center, you'd actually have the listed information that you could have easily communicated to the public.
Okay, I'm going to take Toby's lead and try to do 4 of these. First of all, local adjudication, and I'm doing these in order from ones that I think I can take the most credit, and I don't think anybody can take singular credit, down to ones that are more of a team effort, because these are all team efforts. A local adjudication, as an attorney, I saw the opportunity to make state crimes and state charges local charges, and then the process is the same for the charge person, but the fines and the fees come to the city. That's garnered us over $1 million a year. DUIs and so forth now are adjudicated locally, and those are captured by the city. Using technology to gain efficiencies. We've been investing heavily in this to try to make our employees more efficient. In the long term, that's really the only significant way we're going to reduce taxes, is if we have fewer people. As was mentioned further down the line by Tish Powell, 75-80% of our expenses every year are salaries. If we can have fewer workers, we can drive that cost down. That will be the savings that will get us real tax savings. 311, Sean has said enough about that. I don't have to repeat that. Great communication tool, great way for people to interact with the city, and I didn't even get to 4, so sorry.
Well, at least you stopped, unlike me.
By the way,